Hello, I'm Lauren Ebeck, and I'm here today to talk to you about where I've come from and how I got through my own beliefs and my own self esteem. So, one of the ways that I did this was that, well, let me start back. Okay, so when I was born, did not grow up in this happy go lucky, great family. I grew up with a mother that was alcoholic. My father died when I was 14 because he was actually 70 and my mother was 44 when I was born. Okay. So he passed away at 14. My mother was an alcoholic on the couch. We had, problems, different things that were happening. I'm just going to wipe my little camera screen for a second. Much better. And so growing up was not a happy place for us. Okay. Um, I also, by the time I was 15, I had a brother that had gone to jail for second-degree murder, and he was into drugs. I grew up with physical abuse. I grew up with emotional abuse. I was told all the time I wasn't going to be good enough. It was really harsh. It was a very harsh life. So I didn't have the happy-go-lucky life that people think I did. So one of the things I always get asked at this point in my life, well, how did you make it? How did you do so well? And part of that was because I was really into one of the things that I've discovered about driven women. So, welcome to my channel, by the way, and I'll do a welcome video at some point here. I'm brand new. Um, One of the things that I really discovered is that driven women, what we do, we're driven because we don't think we're good enough. And so we have a thing to prove to the world. So I had set out to do that too. Okay. So here I am working in school. I set out to prove I was not my family. I was on the cross country team, I was on the track team. Um, One of the things, I was part of the student council. I was an AB student. I mean, I worked my little tail end off and I was in 4 H, right? So I did all these different things and they went really well and stuff. And so people started to see that I wasn't my family, but I still had problems with, for example, if I were to ask a friend, "Hey, can you come over tonight and can we spend the night? Can we have fun?" And they would say, "No, my family won't let me associate with you." That really hurt. I mean, that's the type that I grew up in. So I grew up not believing in myself, even though I had A's and B's and I was great at school and I was great at sports. I had no self-esteem, and people found that it was because they found that to be baffling. Like, they would be like, "Oh, no, you've got to." But there's a huge difference, folks, between self-confidence. I was confident in my ability in sports. I was confident in my ability to make good grades. I was confident in school. But if you ask me if I felt worthy, did I feel worthy, like I deserved anything? How did I feel about myself? That answer would have been no. So that answer definitely would have been no. So as I got into college, I'll go through real quick. So my twin got pregnant, by the way, at the age of 15. She dropped out of school. My mother got them married. They went ahead and got married. My father's dead. My brother's in jail. Um, I end up out on my own at 16 in waitressing just to buy my cross country shoes and my cross country uniform and that sort of stuff. And then I had a principal who believed in me and got me a full scholarship ride to college. When I got to college, your shadows come with you, right? So my shadows had come with me, everything had come with me. Um, and so it was in college that I had fallen in love. We'll skip ahead a few years so this doesn't take forever. But I'd fallen in love, and in your relationships, that's where the rubber meets the road. So any issue or skeleton that you have or baggage, it's coming out, folks. It's coming right out. Where people can see that, identify it, it's going to be where the rubber meets the road. Here comes my Labrador Retriever. So I live in central Wisconsin with 2 Labrador Retrievers who I dearly love. All right. So anyway, so I was on and off in a relationship for about 15 years, and the guy um, started off where he was in another relationship, had supposedly ended it, and then of course, as I find out, he's with all these other women. It broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. And when it broke my heart, I realized that I had hit rock bottom self-esteem because for the first time in my life, I started having those really, really dark thoughts. I realized that I was depressed. I had no self-esteem. I didn't love myself. I had those really, really, really dark thoughts. And that's when I thought, wow, if I don't do something, I'm going to be like my family. I'm going to live the anxiety, the depression, and not make much of my life. And I didn't want to end up like my mother on the couch for the rest of my life. So I actually went to I checked myself into therapy and started going to this. It was called the Butterfly Group. There were 8 of us, and it was about transforming ourselves. It was one of the best things I ever did. And she introduced me to self-help books. And this is going to age me. We had cassette tapes, and she gave me this cassette tape by Louise L. Hayes. And she said, Lauren, you got to change your thoughts. You got to change your stinking thinking up here. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to challenge you to listen to this cassette tape for 30 minutes each day for a month, for an entire month. Listen to it for 30 minutes a day and then come back and let's talk. So I'm listening to this cassette tape instead of listening to, the hard rock songs or the rock songs about, or even country. Whoa, my baby is gone. My dog is dead. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, whatever. But you get the point. So I started listening to this for 30 minutes a day. And I realized at the end of a month, my outlook started to change. I was happier. I was more positive. I was feeling better about myself. And I was like, wow, I can really do this. At that point I had a degree and I was like, I can go out and get jobs. I can, my whole outlook really started to change. And that was my first inkling of it's what's up here in your mind. So it is your thoughts that cause you to have feelings. It is those feelings that will uh, modify or cause you to have your actions or take action or whatever it is that you're going to do. And it's those actions that create whatever the result's going to be. Okay. So we go from thoughts to feelings to actions to results, and very much in line and related. So I find that if I'm thinking positive and working on that, then things are going to work out and things are going to be happy and I have more opportunities and things like that. If I fall into the trap of stinking thinking, or let me tell you what real anxiety is. Anxiety is, what if I fail? What if I can't make it? What if I'm not successful? I mean, we go so far in the future with the what ifs. It's ridiculous, just ridiculous. And I had come to realize that I do that a lot. The other thing that I do because of my upbringing is I overanalyze everything and I'm a worry wart. And I admit it, so I overanalyze. Oh my gosh. I worry about things. But I realized that one of the things I really had to do, so let me give you some tips on this. One of the things I really had to do, I discovered, was start really taking my personal development and my self-help seriously. So all these years, I have worked on self-help because I knew that I could be a better person. I knew that I could raise that self-esteem. I knew that I deserved to be successful. So I started working on that. My dream has been to, you know, own a nice house, to be on an acre, to have 2 Labrador retrievers, which I have, Tito and Akos. My dream was to be a college instructor and to motivate students. And my first dream, let me back up some. My first dream was to be executive director of an environmental camp and motivate kids. And I did that. I reached that with no problem. Then once I reached that level, I realized I didn't want to stay at executive director because no longer did I have fun. And I was, building boathouses and fundraising and doing this stuff. And I was good at it, by the way. But my heart wasn't in it. My heart was in interacting with the students, with the kids, and with motivating people to be better, to have a better version of themselves come out, to be their authentic selves. That's what drove me. So I switched careers and went into teaching. And I did high school teaching for a while and then realized I wanted to step up into college. And here it is, 2023, and I realized I've spent the last 5-10 years doing exactly what I wanted to do. I teach college. I teach pre-nursing. I teach anatomy and physiology, biology. I teach all about the body. I do have a chemistry background as well. So I'm gifted in that way. And I teach pre-nursing. Okay. So I teach a lot of these subjects and work with a lot of these things. Um, and and along the way, I have continued my personal development. And there are some things that I do. So let me talk about a few of those things that I do. One of the things that I do, for example, is the morning and nighttime. I used to keep a journal, and I don't do that anymore. I really should write it down because writing it down is powerful. But what I do is I think of 3 things that I'm really grateful for. And as I tell my students or my coaching clients is, "Look, if you can't find something to be grateful for, be grateful that the garbage man picked up your garbage. Be grateful that the water ran down the sink." Be grateful for the small things in life. You know, one of the big things, be great. And I was reminded of this by my coach today, Jordan Levesque. I was reminded to be grateful for another day to be alive. I'm 59. Most of my biological family is dead, whether it was alcohol or Alzheimer's or cancer. Most of my biological family is dead, and I come from a family of 12. Last year alone, between some of my adoptive family, not the ones in Florida, but here in Wisconsin. Let me take a drink of water real quick. But my adoptive family here in Wisconsin, oh my gosh, I had 5 deaths last year. 5 deaths. I had a close friend that died. She was a twin. I lost my identical twin in 2011. My mom had died. My identical twin had died. My other sister got an induced Alzheimer from taking drugs and drinking on top of it and alcohol. And she took the diazepam. You're only supposed to be on those anxiety drugs for 6 weeks. If you haven't been weaned off, I highly suggest you do so because there are ways to deal with that anxiety, which will do more tips on how to deal with your anxiety and get through those. But anyways, back to the subject at hand here. So do what you feel grateful for, you know, and it's because of everything that I do, including my personal development daily. That's what has gotten me through those tough years, those challenges, and things that come up. So I do 5 things that I'm grateful for morning and night. Again, I don't write them down, even though I highly suggest you do because it does help out tremendously. I like to do affirmations. I have affirmations all over my house. Like one of my rankings in my network marketing business is I am a blue diamond or I making $10,000 a month. I really believe in putting those affirmations out there of in the present tense as if it's already happened. That's how I got this house. Except the only mistake I made with the house was I was laughing because I have a house by the lake and I really wanted a house on the lake. So I got to be a little more specific next time. But it's how it happened. So when you other people create vision boards, which I do too, but mine are more with all the affirmations. So for example, I take my affirmations and they're on the cupboard in front of the toilet because when I go and sit on the toilet, there they are right there where I can see them. They're on the door heading out to the garage to the car. Okay. They're on, maybe sometimes I used to put them on my windshield, but you got to peel them off before you drive or on the rearview mirror, you got to peel them off before you drive. Um, but I put them in conspicuous places on the fridge. When I have to go and cook and make dinner and stuff, they're on the fridge. Okay. So I put those lovely, wonderful affirmations in places that I'm going to see them. They're on my mirror. I typically will take, oh, I don't have one here. I think it's over there. I typically take a dry erase marker and you can write on the mirror, you can write out your affirmations. One of the biggest things that'll help you out, right? I am enough on your bathroom mirror, your bedroom mirror. You can write it in lipstick, you can write it in marker. The marker works better. But write, I am enough and leave it there and look at it for 30 days. In 30 days, let's talk. Because it will make a difference on that little mindset of what you're seeing and reading. Okay. Another thing you can do along the lines of affirmations. I usually tell people you can script things out. I like to write things out for a lot of things because as you're writing them, it sticks in the mind. It sticks up here. Okay, so it's affirmations. One of the biggest things that I also do is I think of when I'm thinking of things that I'm grateful for, I usually try to think of what are my 3 wins of today, just 3. And they could be as small as, I helped a student out today. or I made somebody smile today, or I exercise. I walked 10 minutes today. It could be as small as that, or it could be as big as I made $500 today or $1,000 today. I just got promoted. But try to think of three wins. So I do that when I'm doing my grateful. One of the biggest things that I do is I do some sort of personal development every single day, whether it's 10 minutes. Some days I only get 10 minutes in, and it might be 10 minutes of a podcast or an audiobook, because I do a lot with audiobooks because I don't have time to read. So when I'm walking the dog, when I'm exercising, when I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook, and that helps out quite a bit. Okay. So I do that, and that's really, really good. But I do my personal development, whether it's 10 minutes a day, some days, or an hour a day. If I really need it, I'm going to sit down for an hour and do that. All right. So one of the other things that I highly would recommend is doing visualization, and that's where you visualize where you want to be. I usually do that in meditation at night. I meditate at night, 15 minutes before I go to bed, and I actually will do a visualization then to see myself of where I want to be. Okay. So that's pretty important. Some people do vision boards. I'm still creating mine for this year. I'm a little bit behind. It's been a really wacky year. But you can do an audio one, which I really like. So you can actually speak. Like you can do, if you have a phone, let me get mine here for a minute. Your iPhone or your Android, you can actually do a memo and record it and speak to yourself about what your vision is for your life, and then play that back to you. It's a really, really, really good one. I like doing that a lot. So I work on that. One of the biggest things is you've got to change those thoughts and reprogram it. And these are ways to change those thoughts and program it. But you also have to catch yourself. You have to catch yourself, like, who do you hang with? And who do you talk to? And what do you say when you're talking to that person? When somebody gives you a compliment, do you play it down, or do you say, "Oh no," they'll say, like, you have a beautiful shirt on, or you look beautiful today. Do you play that down, or do you say thank you and receive it? Most people play that down. Okay. And so that's really, really huge. So, but who you hang with, when they and do you say things like, when they say, "Oh, that is so great that you did that," do you go, "Oh, it was just luck, just a coincidence"? Don't play those things down. And when you're hanging with somebody, what are they saying to you that's sinking in here? Are they supporting you? Are they telling you how great you are and how much they support your dreams? When you tell somebody that you want to retire at a certain age, or you tell them where you want to retire and where you want to go, are they supporting you, or are they not supporting you? Listen to what they're saying. Listen to how they talk. We in the world, Jordan reminded us today, we in the world are so addicted to negativity. We're addicted to those negative TV shows. We're addicted to the news. We're addicted to suffering. We are so addicted to suffering. We're a nation that needs to change that, because all of that stress and suffering is causing a lot of dis-ease. And that's a whole nother topic that I won't get into today. But you got to change those thoughts. And part of changing those thoughts is what you watch, what you listen to, who are the 5 people you hang with, and do you complain? I've got people at work. Now, I can't change my work environment or my family. And I've got both, where they complain and they're negative and they're Debbie Downers. I can't quite get rid of them, but I can either gently distract and change this topic, which I do a lot, or I can put space between us. I don't talk to I have one brother, one sister left. I don't talk to them a whole lot. Why? Because I find them to be very negative and Debbie Downers. Everything is always woe is me, and the victim role. You know how that goes. So I put space between us, you know. So I'll talk to them and stuff. But you can do that. There are things that matter. Now, on top of that, what you say really matters. What you say to yourself, what you say to others, how you speak those words. If I say to myself, I'm no good at network marketing for my online biz, then I'm going to believe that, and I'm not going to have very much success. Just like if I were to say I'm no good at teaching. So it doesn't matter, but it does matter what you say. But it doesn't matter if you're in a full-time job, if you're in a regular job, network marketing, entrepreneur. If you sit there and tell yourself negative stuff, you're going to bring yourself down. All right. So those are the things that you got to change. What you say really, really matters. If you look at your changing your thoughts, okay? If you look at doing personal development, if you really try and work on bringing yourself up, I promise you, you'll shift your mindset. If you shift your mindset, you will actually shift your whole perception, reality of what's going on for the positive and for the good. One of the things Jordan reminded us too is what you put out is what you get back. Part of also having good self-esteem and really believing in yourself is eating healthy and getting enough sleep. And are you hydrating? You really need to drink half your body weight in water in ounces. Okay. So half of your body weight in ounces in water is what you need to drink because that's what you need. That's a whole other subject. There was a quote I was going to read to you, but I probably can't find it fast enough. But one of my big things too, and that I tell my students, and I do it for myself too, is we need to be responsible and accountable for who we are. And that means every aspect, the good, the bad, the ugly. So when I make a mistake, I need to be able to say, I'm sorry. I need to be accountable for when I don't do my daily actions and my IPAs, my income producing activities. When I don't do my daily actions for my online business, I don't get results because I need to treat it just like I'm going to do anything else. I need to treat it like a responsibility, be consistent to work, and to really stay consistent at it. And that's a big deal, by the way. If you're not consistent and persistent, so to speak, you're not going to make it. So you've got to, and that doesn't mean like, it's kind of like if you have a bad day. So let's go to that for a second. If you have a bad day where, for example, let's say tonight I don't get my 10 shout outs asked for. So I can do them again tomorrow. I don't have to beat myself up. So on one hand, don't beat yourself up, but don't even try. You need to develop that daily good habits of speaking good to yourself, personal development, staying with it. If you build those habits of feeling grateful and saying I'm grateful every day, I promise you will change your beliefs. And this is what did it for me. This is how I have become a successful motivational teacher and life coach when I had everything going against me. I had the drugs and the bad family and the no money. And I mean, I had it all in a really bad upbringing. But I did it using these 10 things I just presented to you, and I continue to do them. And I still continue to do them today. Now, there are days when I might forget. And then I hired a personal coach, and lo and behold, she reminded me. Okay. But for the most part, I stay consistent in doing those things. So if you like this, I'll give you more tips. The videos can be shorter. This is a great live. Welcome to my channel. Again, I'm Lauren Ebeck. My mission is to show driven women 30 to 60 how to have more time and money. And one of the ways to do that is to work on the reason we're driven is because we don't feel good enough about ourselves. So with that, subscribe, like my channel, watch my videos. I'll be throwing up at least, I probably will do videos once a week, but definitely I'll be putting up shorts and different informational pieces. So please watch out for those. And with that, I'm going to say have a happy Saturday and thanks.